Welcome to Box Publics. I'm Paula and today we're talking about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs open a whole new world of possibilities for speaking English. And they are also used incredibly often in everyday conversation, which makes them quite important to know. Most language learners are afraid of phrasal verbs, but it's easier than you think. You probably already know a couple of them, such as come in, calm down, eat out. So let's answer the first question. What's a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a phrase that's made up of a verb and another word or two. Usually a preposition, but sometimes an adverb, and they indicate actions. So before we move on, it's important that we understand what verbs, prepositions, and adverbs are. A verb is an action word. It describes something happening. For example, I'm watching the news. It also indicates a state of being. For example, she is asleep. Or an action being done. They are cooking. A preposition is a word that describes the relationship between two words. For example, the cat is on the table or is under the table. It's not inside the table, hopefully. Prepositions deal with location or direction. For example, the supermarket is around the corner. And they also deal with time. For example, I will see you at 5 p.m. today. And an adverb is a word that describes a verb. For example, you can run quickly or slowly. So, they are phrasal verbs that consist of a verb and a preposition or an adverb, like get up, write down, go through. And there are phrasal verbs that consist of three elements, such as look forward to, get along with, put up with. And as I said before, phrasal verbs work by changing the meaning of the verb based on the preposition or adverb that follows them. For instance, the word come on its own means to move towards something. Together with the preposition on, though, it becomes a phrase of encouragement. Come on, we can learn this! Now, there are phrasal verbs that have a literal meaning, and these ones are the easiest to understand. For example, we ate out last night. This means that we went outside our house and we ate in a restaurant, for example. Other phrasal verbs have what we call an idiomatic or figurative meaning. And these ones are more difficult to understand. But before looking them up in a dictionary, it would be helpful to use the context to understand what they mean. For example, the phrasal verb put up. It generally means to build something. However, if I'm talking to a friend and I ask, can you put me up for tonight? In this case, it has a figurative meaning. I'm asking if I can stay at your place. Why are phrasal verbs so important? Well, because they are extremely common in informal English. And unless you are familiar with their meanings, understanding informal English will be difficult. In addition, learning how to use phrasal verbs correctly will help you to sound more natural in casual conversation. Do I always have to use phrasal verbs? No. Keep in mind that phrasal verbs are for informal English. So if you're addressing a formal audience, you will rarely use them. The good news about that is that most phrasal verbs have a non-phrasal verb equivalent. So instead of saying carry on, you can say continue. Instead of saying let down, you can say disappoint. You will sound more formal, that's right, but it's fine. And that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching until the end. There is going to be a part 2 where I'm going to talk about types of phrasal verbs and how to learn them. And that will be the end of the theory. And then the real fun begins. Homework: check how many phrasal verbs I have used during this video and write them down in the comments below. I will be looking forward to them. And I will see you next week. Bye!